Folgers in your cup. Hey guys, okay. So I'm drinking incredible instant coffee, Folgers coffee. No, I'm not sponsored by them, and it's actually not incredible at all. Okay, but I'm drinking coffee and it's time to continue. Let's continue. I hope you guys are excited because now that we have the LLM hooked up into the AI agent, the next step is to give it some memory. What's the point of having a brain if you can't remember anything? What was I just talking about? Exactly. Okay, so we want to click. Okay, so we want to click on memory. Thanks for bearing with my sense or my lack of sense of humor. Okay, when you click on memory, we have many different options. All right, memory cannot just be integrated one way. There are ways where we can seamlessly integrate databases and store it with Postgres. If you're not familiar with Postgres, fantastic database option. You got Redis to give you further control. So these are very popular choice integrations to not only use memory and hook it up. And by memory, we mean, of course, the chat history, the memory of the chat history of the LLM into database, store it through there. But by default, what N8N does is it allows us to store N8N memory into the session ID, into the browser. So you don't even need any credentials for Postgres or whatever. And this can be very, very powerful, as we're going to see. So we're going to click on the easiest method. When we do this, we see that we get the session ID connected chat trigger node. So that's saying connected to the chat trigger node, but that's not what we want. What we want is not just the session key from the session ID. We want to grab our window memory buffer from specifically this WhatsApp trigger. I want to change the context. Instead of it remembering all of this stuff, it's just going to remember what the messages were. Then it can take that context window and be much more specific towards the conversation that we're going to have on WhatsApp. So how can we do that? Well, we can switch from session key to pointing it essentially to the WhatsApp ID that's going to be coming from our WhatsApp trigger. Now that might all sound confusing, but it's going to be very clear and you'll realize how simple it really is once it's working. I want to present it this way first because we're moving the flow from one point to another. So it is something intuitively that maybe you would try to do after, but I want to show you it now because I'm teaching. I don't just want to go step by step. I do want to teach this to you. So I want you to switch the session ID from connected chat trigger node to define below. And it's okay if this is confusing for now. It will make sense. And the key, which is basically what we're using to store the session ID in memory, we want to switch it out from a fixed position to the expression of the messages that we're receiving from our WhatsApp trigger. We can do this using JavaScript. We enter JSON notation, which is JavaScript object notation. These are objects, and that's all a bunch of jargon to say that all the information being passed through the internet in different packets of data can be interpreted in various formats. And a very accessible human readable format is JSON. It's still in code format, but we could read it better than a lot of other ways. And in order to access that, and when we do that, notice how it's going to give us options above. It already says, hey, are you trying to access the earlier node, which is WhatsApp trigger? So we want to click on that, yes. But specifically from WhatsApp trigger, what we care about is the WhatsApp ID. In order to get that, we want to type in item, and it's going to be item JSON dot contacts, and then we want the first index, and in computer science 0 is often the first index, so we put in 0 dot WA underscore ID. All right, and that is the only code we're going to be writing for this whole WhatsApp AI agent, one line. And this is something that we could get after, but I want to show it to you now, and we're going to come back to it. You want to hit enter. All right, and it's going to be red. You're going to say it'll be red for now and say result is undefined because we're not yet passing anything into it. That's okay. And the context window length now is going to be coming from that contact, so we can switch the length to, let's say, the past 10 messages. We want to do that, and we can go ahead and just close and save. And now when we test the workflow, we're going to see that we're waiting for a trigger event. And let me ask you something. What are we waiting for? What trigger event? So now I'm asking you something. The tables have turned. I want you to think about it though. Hopefully you understand what that is. If not, take a second and think. What is the trigger? The trigger is the message, right? And we haven't set up the message yet, right? If we go to our WhatsApp, if you go on your phone, if you were to open your phone and go into WhatsApp or go to your desktop, you're not going to see this number here and this box because we haven't created it yet. It's waiting for that trigger event. Because it doesn't exist, we can't access that data. So we want to stop the trigger event for now, end it. I was just proving a point. Don't need it to be working right now. Look at me trying to prove points and all. This is good, guys. This is where we want to be. This is the next step. This is where we're heading, my friends. I know there's a little bit of coding jargon, but that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's you learning what's actually happening under the hood. In the next lesson, let's go ahead and set up our AI agent so that it actually can receive a trigger event. And then we can really play with this window buffer memory and not have it like this weird abstract type of code, but something actually tangible that makes sense to you, okay? I'm very excited because we're almost past all the annoying hurdles of authentication. We do have to go back into the Death Star of the Facebook business developer complicated system. But you know what? Charge up your mental lasers. Get ready to take out some stormtroopers and level up. I'll see you in the next lesson. There's only one way to go forward, guys, and that's full steam ahead. I'll see you there whenever you're ready. Don't forget to save. Catch you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.